Okay, so here's your heads up. I don't know why I call it heads up, but it's a heads up to this longer podcast. And it's all about, is there such a thing as hope? And how can we change hope into more than that? And also, is there such a thing as false hope? It'll all make sense just after this little bit. I'll see you in a second.
Warning.
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 Warning. You are entering into the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. Too late. Personal Development Unplugged.
Hey people, how are we doing? How are you? Yeah, how are you? If you're listening to this now, I'll have been back from doing a training, helping people to learn some of the stuff that I do. Teaching other therapists, as it were, other practitioners. But the thing is, right now, I hope that training goes really well. But the thing is, they got me really thinking away, and I've thought about this before. You know, what is hope? And is there such a thing as false hope? You see, me just wishing and hoping that things go well. Is that going to cut the mustard? Is that going to do it? Is that going to get me to my result? Or am I going to sit back at the end of that and go, oh, I only wish I had. Have you experienced that before? Wishing you'd done something and never did it? Because you'd hoped something had been done, or would be achieved. You see, to me, I don't think there's anything wrong with hope at all. And there's certainly no such thing as false hope, because hope is just hope. But I think hope has to have some ingredients. You see, I guess when I'm having a consultation with a client, I'm giving them hope that there is an end to their issue. How do I do that? Well, I give them examples of other people's success. Go through by explaining the different principles of how I work with stories of other clients, their successes, what they did, their issues, obviously not names and things like that, but just giving examples. Now that has to give hope. Is that false hope? No, I don't think so. That's giving information. So there's an ingredient to that hope. Also, I guess sometimes, is my confidence in what I do and the confidence I have of helping people achieve their successes, to let go of their issues, to find what they want. Again, is that false hope? I don't know. I mean, working with terminally ill patients and helping them, is that giving them false hope? I don't think there's a case of false hope. Is it just giving them hope? Well, hope is okay if it's a wish, but if there's more ingredients and steps along the way for them to help themselves, I believe things like instant remission and things like that occur, or certainly ways of being more comfortable occur. Maybe the placebo effect. Maybe that's that bit about being confident, and people getting that confidence and just think, well, it's going to work because my friend worked with Paul and it worked for them, so it must work for me. Now, is the placebo effect, is that false hope? I don't think so again. I keep asking myself the question, is there such a thing as false hope? And is hope bad? And I don't think, well, first of all, I keep saying, I don't think there is such a thing as false hope, because hope is hope. There's no negative. The world, only language produces negatives. You go into the world, it's either there or it isn't. So there's either hope or there isn't. But the thing is, I wanted to look at this a bit deeper, because again, me just hoping that this training goes well, that ain't going to cut it. I know that. You see, some of you will remember the film called The Secret, all about the law of attraction. Now, whether you believe in the law of attraction or not, that film was pretty good. It gave quite a few decent steps into getting what you want, attracting what you want. And it gave hope. And I think sometimes that's all it gave. Hope to people that if I wish it hard enough, good things will be attracted to me. And I think that's what it missed out. It missed out the ingredients that make hope into a reality, to a result. You see, when you have the secret ingredients, I love that word secret because they're not secret, but when you have the ingredients that weren't there in that film called The Secret, because they were missing the ingredients which just made things to be wishes. And like a wish, they just fade and die if you don't do anything with those wishes. Just fade away. And that's when you get the term, well, I wish I'd, or if only I'd. And I do that with my playing of my guitar and my art. And I got a ukulele. And again, I just wish when I got it, I practiced more. So it didn't cut it, did it? I have to plan. I have to have some structure into that wish to make it a reality. That's what we're going to do. So I want you to think, what are the ingredients of hope? What was the missing bits that for every wish that didn't come into your reality, that didn't, come to fruition? What was missing? Now for me, my thoughts go to, like the trainings I do, which are all based around a cause is greater than the effect. Being a cause. What does that mean? We've talked about it before, but being a cause means taking responsibility, not letting the effects, I wish I had practiced more on my ukulele, but there was so much time, I didn't have time, and so kept getting away, and then I had to do this. They're all bloody excuses, aren't they? And if you look back at those wishes that have just faded away, how many excuses did you make? And if you hear anything, any buts as well, they're just excuses. They're the effects. And that's where we end up living our life if we don't take responsibility. They're just the effects of life, bombarding us with all sorts of things. And I'm not going to take excuses, not for myself. If I hear them, I'm not going to take them. Okay, sometimes I like an excuse, but when I get it, I'm going to call myself out. And I want you to call yourself out on your excuses. And if you can do it gently with other people too, using all your wonderful skills of rapport, call people out. Say, well, actually, let's have a think about what old Cluffy said about cause and effect. If we're not living on the effect side of life, it's because we're taking responsibility and causing things to happen. That's one of the secret steps. Come back to taking responsibility, being at cause. You see, that ultimately means you have to commit to take action. And that's what was really missing from that film, The Secret. I think that was the missing ingredient, had all the other stuff. But I know so many people who would say, oh, well, I watched that film 5 times, 10 times. There are some people who watched it tens of times and said, it's not working. Yeah, of course it's not working, because you're on your bum watching the bloody film. It's all about taking action, knowing what you want and taking action. Yes, I change it a little bit with, I don't know, I didn't make this up. It's not mine. I don't know where it came from, but what I do know, Neville Goddard came out with that term, feeling of the wish fulfilled. I know I like that part of it. So taking responsibility, commitment to take action, and holding that feeling of the wish fulfilled in order that I can find the right steps. Now, to take action, before that, we need to have the right supporting belief. Because if you have, all right, I'm going to take action, but you have this little belief which says, well, I'm not really worth it. I'm not worth it. Not worthy. I can't do this. I'm stupid. Any of those negative, unsupporting beliefs, then we have to change them. We do some change work on the beliefs. We've done this before by finding counterexamples when you were the opposite, where you were worthy, where you were good enough, where you were able to do the things you wanted to do. Or sometimes you can pinch other people's beliefs. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. Because if you think about it, we talked about this before, you and I we just don't have the information to know that what's impossible. So if we don't know if something is impossible, it must be possible. Because again, we said you can't have a not impossible. It's either possible or possible. And we don't know enough, so therefore everything is possible. Now, if we start with that, everything is possible, let's have a look what my first action would be. Also, there's a wonderful belief. I know Tony Robbins, the big self-help personal development guy in America. Love his trainings, love loads of what he does. Not all of it, but loads of it. But I think deep down he's a really, really good guy. When he was having his problems and having to fight back to get his business online, he had the belief there's always a way. Simple as that. There's always a way. So that's a little bit like anything is possible, isn't it? There's always a way. And if you've got that, if there's always a way, all I have to do is find it. Remember that other one, a question I asked myself. Got this from Tim Ferriss. What would it be like if it was easy? So if there's always a way, and what would that be like if it was easy? And let your unconscious mind come up with the old Jenny journal, a few ways that you could start to take action. Because then you're taking responsibility. You've got that commitment to take action with that firm foundation of a positive belief. And you know what you want. You know your outcome. Because if you don't know your outcome, that end in mind, not a lot of point in taking action. Because I see so many people go, oh, I'm just going to do something. And you go, what are you trying to achieve? And they go, I don't know, but it seemed a good idea at the time. Well, that's taking action. That's believing everything is possible. But if you don't have that outcome in mind, you could go anywhere. Yeah, it's exciting for some people. They do end up finding things they never would find before, but they don't get what they want. So we need to have that outcome. What do you do to know your outcome is right? Well, hey, visualize its completion. What is that last step that you know that if you took that last step, you'd achieve your goal? And what would it feel like? The feeling of the wish fulfilled. Is it exactly the way you want it? If it isn't, change it. Don't go for it just yet, but change it very quickly to exactly the way you want it. So now you know exactly what you're looking for. And you can keep visualizing that now because you've got that supportive, positive belief. Because just visualizing an outcome without, with the belief of I'm not worthy or I can't do this, that visualization means nothing to your unconscious mind. But when you have that positive belief and you have that visualization of what you're going for, then you've got the basis, the foundations of this way of being to get what you want. And if you wanted to, knowing that last step, you could simply plot a way backwards to find that very first step. And then do the steps going forward and block them out. Block them out in your diary. Commit, because that's what committing is. To me anyway, blocking out things in your diary. This is what I'm going to do. So unless anything so supremely more important comes along that needs my attention, I'm going to put everything off because I've now put it in my diary. This is when I'm going to start this work. And I'll find the smaller steps to start off with that feeling of the wish fulfilled, holding that feeling, and the picture, the big picture of where I'm going. So I've got the baby step, the small steps, the detail, but holding the big picture in mind with that feeling of the wish fulfilled. And I just know now I've gone from hope to expectation. Now that's a real big difference. That's a real big difference. I mean, if you just think of something, anything you want to do, and just go, well, I hope I can do this, and notice the feeling you get. To be honest, there's not much, is there? But say, I expect to do this. I expect that outcome. Even just me saying it, you can hear the difference in my voice, and that will be the difference in your voice, which means there's a different set of synaptic gaps clicking and clacking and making, everything in your whole neurology, your spiritual, intellectual, your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, your state, your behaviors, your physicality. Everything becomes aligned to this big picture and that small step. We know we've got things like the 5 steps of success, which says start with the end in mind, the goal, know your goal, take massive intuitive action. That's what we've got with that supporting foundation. Be aware of your progress. So if you need to change a little bit because you're off direction, or you need to change your approach slightly to get that goal because you're holding it in mind, you can do that because you have this flexibility to do whatever it takes. And that's the thing I'm coming to in a minute. And then obviously having the mindset and it's the as if, working as if with the mindset and the physiology of excellence. Then that hope is no longer, well, false hope doesn't even come into it, does it? But that hope has now gone to an expectation. And you're going to do whatever it takes. And that's the whole part about this, I think. When you know this is what you really want, and you are prepared to do whatever it takes, that's when you become unstoppable. When that goal has to happen. When that goal has to happen quicker than you thought possible. Coincidences just have to happen. Serendipity just seems to have to happen. You start to get really lucky because luck just seems to have to happen. All because, going back to the beginning of this, you took responsibility for making it happen. You found those ingredients of hope. Because hope is like that first thing, I guess. This is what I want. I hope it goes this way. Okay, so let's work on it. So they're the things, because I know I'm hoping that this training goes really well, that I'm off to. But I'm also taking responsibility to get to preparing properly, to go through, to make sure I've got all the things I need, and just making sure that when I step out on that stage, I can be me and give those people more than they thought they were going to get, more value than they expected, more learnings, more everything. So they leave that place and they feel absolutely awesome. And part of that training will be taking responsibility. And I know then the whole world will be changing, because they'll have learned so many wonderful things that they cannot help but change, and cannot help but change the world just by being a different person with all these wonderful things. So there you go. Just a few thoughts about hope and the non-existence of false hope. Do you agree, I wonder? Or maybe if you've heard of false hope, maybe you've changed your mind. I hope you have, because I don't think it helps anybody. Because anything with the word false, like fake it till you make it, it's in the title. It's false. It's fake. Anyway, the one thing you can do is take total responsibility for having more fun than you can stand, and enjoying every heartbeat, and creating the world you want to live in. Create the world inside you, the way you want to be, that creates the world outside you, the way you want it to be, and then have it affect everyone around you, so they get the benefit of being around you when you are totally aligned, congruent in everything you do. Yeah, there's a few little chips along the way, but no one's perfect, because I don't want perfect. But it just makes it such a wonderful place to be. And I want to be part of that too. I want to be part of your world. So there you go. That's what I'm going to do. Enjoy. And always remember, here comes the music. Always remember, please share. If you got something out of this or any of the other podcasts, please share it to, I'm going to say everyone you know. I'm going to be bold. Please share it with everyone you know. Because I know, some people won't listen, some people will. But they'll get it. And even the people you think they've got it together, the people I see as my clients, on the outside, their friends would say they've got it together. But what they share with me is, it's a facade. It's something they put up. Inside is like that duck pedaling on the water, looking so graceful, a swan, looking so graceful on the water, but the legs are paddling like anything underneath. So share with everybody. It would be really nice if you did, and it helps spread this word, and shares the world we want to live in. And if you could, go to iTunes, Castbox, anything you get this podcast on, and make sure you subscribe. It's always good to get them in your, whatever you listen to this on, without having to do anything. You get your notifications and things like that. But also, if you could leave a review, that's what also helps spread the word. I know it doesn't take seconds to do, because it takes a minute or two. But if you could spare that minute too, when you do have a minute to yourself, that would be absolutely awesome. And then obviously you've got those hypnosis tracks. I know I bang on about them, but they're there, and I'm really pleased to be able to do them for you. I'm proud of the work I do on that. And they're free. So go to paulcloughonline.com/podcast, sign up, everything yourself, and enjoy. There's loads of them. Plus you get a few free gifts now and again. And there's other stuff at paulcloughonline.com. Have a look around for that. It's all going to be changing shortly, so I've got one or two thoughts in mind about that and different ways of putting those programs together. But there's some interesting stuff on there, so have a look. Anyway, that's it for me. Have more fun than you stand. All right then. Until next time, this is Paul Clough, your friend. Bye-bye now.
Warning, you are now leaving the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. It's time to fly on your own. Be brave, my friend.
Personal Development Unplugged.